Chronicle. Governor Tina Kotek formally announced her 2026 re-election bid Thursday, leaving her less than a year to convince Oregonians she remains the best choice to lead the state. The news came after weeks of clear signals that Kotek, whose campaign has been emailing supporters for months to fundraise, was officially gearing up for the November 2026 election. Kotek's most prominent political opponent, State Senator Christine Drazan, can be revealed in late October that she would be trying her hand for the governorship again, teeing up a possible rematch with a rival who came within a few percentage points of defeating her in 2022. As Oregon battles sluggish economic growth and rising unemployment, Kotek framed herself as a champion of the state's values who was aware of the plight of working families. Kotek, a Pennsylvania native who began her career as an advocate for the Oregon Food Bank, rose to political prominence as the state's longest-serving House Speaker from 2013 to 2022. She worked to pass progressive policies in the legislature before becoming one of the nation's two first openly lesbian governors alongside Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey. On Thursday, Kotek highlighted her central role in fighting President Donald Trump's attempted deployment of the National Guard to Portland and his administration's opposition to releasing food assistance during the recent government shutdown. "We stopped an unnecessary military deployment, restored SNAP benefits, and got help to families fast," Kotek said in a Thursday morning statement. "The choice is between a governor who will stand up for Oregon and protect what we believe in, or a governor who will let Donald Trump do whatever he wants." The official Tina for Oregon announcement marks a notable shift in tone from when Kotek announced her 2022 bid and denounced the politics of division on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic. Since then, her approval ratings have ranked among some of the most unpopular Democratic and Republican governors. One of her most high-profile controversies involved the nixed office of the first spouse Kotek was considering creating in 2024 amid scrutiny over multiple departures of staff from her office. The Oregon Government Ethics Commission went on to dismiss complaints against her on the grounds that there was no evidence that Kotek or her wife would benefit from an unpaid volunteer position. But a challenger to Kotek will likely face an uphill battle, with the most recent Republican Oregon governor winning election in the 1980s. Results from off-year and special elections suggest the upcoming election year will also be difficult for Republicans, who have majorities in both chambers of Congress while an unpopular Republican president holds office. A recent poll of Oregon voters commissioned by the Democratic Governors Association found that 61% of respondents prefer a candidate who will challenge Trump's policies, while 34% said they were in favor of someone who will implement them. Kotek could also face headwinds due to the ongoing limbo facing the $4.3 billion transportation package that the legislature struggled to get across the finish line this year. Drazan in June led House Republicans in effectively running out the clock and preventing the effort from moving forward. That left Democrats to pass an emergency funding measure during a lengthy special session through increases in the state's gas tax, vehicle registration and title fees, and a transit payroll tax. The Republican lawmakers now leading a push to place the measure on the November 2026 ballot for voters to undo the tax and fee hikes have reported receiving nearly double the 78,116 signatures needed. Political observers have speculated that Oregon lawmakers may work to schedule the measure for the May 2026 primary election instead of running their general election candidates while defending unpopular tax hikes. That approach could make a difference for Kotek, who won her race in 2022 against Drazan by more than 3 percentage points. Non-affiliated challenger Betsy Johnson, a former conservative Democratic state senator from the North Coast, received 8.6% of the vote. Oregon Democrats can't risk the potential collateral damage to their candidates from the shrapnel when the bill explodes. Lobbyist Rick Metzger of the Salem-based PAC/West Lobby Group, who is also a former Oregon state senator, wrote in a newsletter Tuesday. Kotek's announcement also came alongside a flurry of endorsements from prominent Oregon Democrats: nurses, clinicians, ironworkers, construction unions, carpenters, gun control, and LGBTQ+ advocates. Her campaign referred to her accomplishments in creating Oregon's first statewide shelter program for housing, producing affordable housing units and more than 6,000 beds. It also pointed to investments in early childhood education and summer learning. But some of the governor's own areas of accomplishment have also come with vulnerabilities. The number of residential permits issued in Oregon has been on the decline in the past few years, while homelessness has risen more than 60% in Multnomah County since 2023. Despite Oregon's participation in the West Coast Health Alliance for safeguarding vaccine access, the state offered a slower response than other Democrat-led states for guaranteeing COVID-19 vaccine eligibility to residents. Some Oregonians began traveling to Washington to receive the shot. The governor, however, has appeared to take one of the biggest criticisms against her to heart. She unveiled a prosperity roadmap on Tuesday at a semiconductor manufacturing company in Tualatin with the goal of reforming permit systems, increasing global trade, and providing corporate tax incentives. She is set to speak with business leaders from around the state in Portland on Monday for the annual Oregon Business Plan Leadership Summit. Drazan, however, promptly slammed the initiative as out of touch, tying Kotek to the transportation package. For more than a decade, from the speaker's chair to the governor's office, Kotek has pushed the policies that wrecked our economy, the largest tax increase in state history, her green energy regulatory scheme, a $4.3 billion transportation tax hike, and policies that legalize tent cities, Drazan said in a Tuesday statement. Now she wants Oregonians to believe she's capable of fixing the mess she created. Tina Kotek should have been the chief prosperity officer for Oregon this entire time. Campaign finance records as of Thursday show that Kotek's campaign has around $1.8 million in cash on hand, compared to Drazan's more than $850,000. Marion County Commissioner Danielle Bethel, the other prominent Republican running for the nomination, has more than $63,000 in available funds. Another potential Republican candidate, the ex-Portland Trailblazer Chris Dudley, who came within less than 2 percentage points of winning the 2010 Oregon governor's race, has yet to make an announcement about his decision. Oregon Capital Chronicle is part of State's Newsroom, a nonprofit news network supported by grants and a coalition of donors as a 501c3 public charity. Oregon Capital Chronicle maintains editorial independence. Contact editor Julia Shumway for questions. info@OregonCapitalChronicle.com.
With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this legal breaking reporting video analysis update. If you did enjoy this legal breaking reporting video analysis update, please like, comment, share, subscribe, and enjoy for more legal breaking news that you need to know about. More to come soon, ladies and gentlemen.